Proverbs chapter 31. Wine and strong drink condemn to plead the cause of the poor and needy. A virtuous woman is priced above rubies. This is a great one. The words of King Lemuel, the prophecy that his mother taught him. Now before we read any more of this, remember, Lemuel, this is the only time this name appears in the Bible. We don't know who this man is. The words of King Lemuel, who was he? A lot of people say he was Solomon, that this is just a name or a title given to Solomon. But I tend to think that that is not the case. I actually, personally, this is just my personal opinion, and it's not really based on scholarly research, because there's really not much research you can do on the matter, since it's the only reference we have to this guy, not only in the Bible, but as far as I know, in no other records. So my personal opinion is that it's not a king of Israel at all. Not of the northern kingdom, not of the southern kingdom. But is the writing of a king of a different land, but still inspired. Let's just continue. Verse 2. What, my son, and what the son of my womb, and what the son of my vows? Give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings. It is not for kings, O Lemuel, it is not for kings to drink wine, nor for princes strong drink, lest they drink and forget the law and pervert the judgment of any of the afflicted. Give strong drink unto him that is ready to perish, and wine unto those that be of heavy hearts. Let him drink and forget his poverty, and remember his misery no more. Open thy mouth for the dumb in the cause of all such as are appointed to destruction. Open thy mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and needy. Let us pause there. Good advice here. Don't be getting drunk, because even just a little bit of intoxication can hamper your judgment. It's no good. But it does say, strong drink to those who are about to perish. If they're lying on their deathbed, gasping out their last breaths, then, give them the strong drink to deaden the senses, to ease their suffering as they die. Now, today we have better methods of doing this than alcohol, so we don't need to use strong drink. Back then, they didn't really have anything else. But I also like wine for those who are that be of heavy hearts. This reminds me, Joseph Smith did order wine in Carthage jail. And the four of them, Joseph, Hiram, John Taylor, and Willard Richards, all drank the wine. And later, I believe it was John Taylor, being asked about it, there was a rumor saying, he was asking, wasn't this for the partaking of the sacrament? And he said, no, we got the wine because we were all depressed, and we wanted it to lighten the mood a little bit. Now, again, we've got better ways of doing this. There are better ways to lighten the mood, but wine does tend to have that effect. Anyways, I'm going to read the rest of the chapter, and then we'll talk about it. Verse 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. She will do him good, and not evil, all the days of her life. She seeketh wool and flax, and worketh willingly with her hands. She is like the merchant ships, she bringeth her food from afar. She riseth also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household, and a portion to her maidens. She considereth a field, and buyeth it. With the fruit of her hands she planteth a vineyard. She girdeth her loins with strength, and strengtheneth her arms. She perceiveth that her merchandise is good. Her candle goeth not out by night. She layeth her hands to the spindle, and her hands hold the distaff. She stretcheth out her hand to the poor, yea, she reacheth forth her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet. She maketh herself coverings of tapestry. Her clothing is silk and purple. Her husband is known in the gates, when he sitteth among the elders of the land. She maketh fine linen, and selleth it. And delivereth girdles unto the merchant. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in time to come. She openeth her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. Her children arise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praiseth her. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. Favor is deceitful, and beauty is vain, But a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. Now, that is a fantastic description of what is the ideal woman. Now note, she is not one that, she's not barefoot pregnant and in the kitchen. She is not a slave to her husband, but she is submissive to her husband. She takes care of the household. She buys land when necessary. She grows her food. She does the work. She spins the wool, but also holds the distaff, which is, when the wool is spun, it's spun around the distaff. So all these things. She is a wise, industrious woman who is always working for the benefit and improvement of her family and her house. And she has her own industry. She selleth fine linen. She makes girdles for the merchants. In other words, she's not solely dependent on her husband for income. She takes care of the family affairs. This reminds me, I want to say, in the Middle Ages, it was not uncommon for the woman of the house to be the one to brew the beer or the ale. They would get it in, they would brew it, and they might brew a little more than they needed, usually would brew a little more than they needed, and she would then set out a sign to invite people over to come and buy of the ale. And people would come, they bring their own cups or bowls to fill. And in this way, she would increase the income of the house. The husband was out in the fields working. She was in the house working. They both did their part. And that's what this is talking about. We're not talking about women being completely dependent, having no power outside their husband. No. But their place is taking care of the house and the family. She is there to ensure that her children have clothes, her children are fed. She does the work that she can to help increase the family income, but she does it in the home. Now, my favorite part here, I just have to say this, I find this, I don't know if it's really my favorite part exactly, but I like this. It is verse 18. She perceiveth that her merchandise is good, and her candle goeth not out by night. Now, this could just be that, because just before that, I was talking about her spinning cloth and all that. And this could just be, she works all night. She knows that her craft is good. She's making good. I don't think that's what it's actually talking about. I think this is a euphemistic statement saying that she knows she's a good-looking woman. And her passion for her husband does not end. She knows that she can turn him on, and he can turn her on, and at night the passion does not end. That's what I think it's talking about, and I love it. But I will leave that here, and I will see you later in my next video.